Here you go, LeBron. Here you go. Your last chance. Yesterday you were blessed. You were blessed with the Knicks falling to the Pacers, a team that I thought would beat the Pacers. They fell. So now they're not going to the finals. They're not going to win a championship. So now this ready-made team for you is still there for you in New York, a team you should have been played for. This is your last chance. Your last chance to go to the Knicks. Your last chance to stay relevant. Your last chance to win another championship. Your last chance to surpass Jordan. Your last chance to keep your fan base rocking with you when you done playing and gain back some of the fan base who already bounced on you. Who already bounced with you. Now, the Jordan's fan base, his fans is already with him. They solid. Kobe fan base is solid. They're not going nowhere. Your fan base, they already splitting because they already see you not about winning. And they already splitting on you. And they should. If you're not about winning, nobody want to see you just stay in the league and ran to the Lakers. Like, what you go to the Lakers for? Everybody was against you going to the Lakers. All your fans was against that. You went there anyway. For a guy who we root for as the best player, who cares what team you play for? Who cares? We root for you as the best player ever. And you run to the Lakers organization and wanted to become just another good player, great player that played for the Lakers. When we trying to boost you and see you win to the point where you're the greatest player, period. It doesn't matter what franchise you play for. So this is your last chance, dude. We don't want to hear no excuses. Your last chance. The Knicks is ready-made. I thought soon as they traded for Luka, the Lakers traded for Luka, showing that they don't give a damn about you. They've been trying to sabotage you since you won the championship with AD. They seen the blueprint of all they needed was another big. Seen the blueprint. All they needed was another a solid in their prime star big next to AD, center next to AD. That was the blueprint with you at point guard. And they changed the whole blueprint, the championship blueprint that Magic Johnson introduced, that was Magic Johnson plan. They changed it up. Totally changed it. Because they seen that y'all was so dominant. Not only in the season, you had the best record in the West, and y'all just dominated the playoffs. So, okay, we cool with him winning a championship now, but we can't have this guy win no more championships. Shut that down. And bump Pelinka sabotage you from there on. Kobe agent sabotage you from there on. And you just didn't get it, dude. You just didn't get it. Then years later, after they show, if you show that if the Lakers show they couldn't win doing this, not having you play point and having AD at the 5, they continue to do that. Continue to do it. What got Westbrook, knowing that y'all gonna fail with Westbrook, and then they blamed you for Westbrook. So they knew that you was gonna fail with Westbrook, knowing that Westbrook took the ball out your hand, another person that took the ball out your hand, and it's not you're efficient. So all this failing, that's why I don't feel bad for AD. It took him way too long to finally say, hey, y'all gotta give me a center. Dude, you should have been saying that from the gate. After the first year y'all fell without you having the big next to you, should have said from the gate, give me a center. Get me a center. You don't wait till 4 years later to finally say, get me a center after you totally destroyed the lead at the 4. Stop crying and say, I want to be at the 4. And just say, get me a center. I want to be at the 4. I don't want to play the 5. That's why I feel bad for the guy. So this is instead of you wanted Kyrie Irving, which would have worked too. If you wasn't gonna get a center, getting Kyrie Irving was the next best thing. Having Kyrie, you, and AD, y'all would have won. Or would have won that year that they would have made the move, and y'all would have won most likely the next year. Y'all had to go against Boston, probably would have been harder, but I believe y'all would have beat Boston. Now, I can't guarantee that one, but y'all definitely would have beat The Heat, the year before, if y'all made the Kyrie Irving trade, and y'all would have beat the Nuggets. Y'all would have beat the Nuggets. Every game that y'all played the Nuggets was close. Every game. And you had what you call it giving you nothing. You had D-Lo giving you nothing. So they made a cheaper trade because they didn't want to give up 2 firsts. So they made the cheaper trade of getting D-Lo and Vanderbilt, 2 people who extremely overrated. You got a fake Kyrie Irving and D-Lo, a carbon copy Kyrie Irving and D-Lo, and you got Vanderbilt who ain't worth a damn. And that's the moves they made, and y'all made it to the conference finals and got destroyed by the Nuggets in every close game. All the games were close, and it wouldn't have been close. You would have won those games if you had D-Lo you had Kyrie instead of D-Lo. Murray was just cooking D-Lo, and on the other side, D-Lo was giving you nothing. And Vanderbilt was giving you nothing. And you came out publicly telling the Lakers, hey, you want Kyrie Irving. And they came out publicly saying, shut the hell up. We ain't doing what you asked us to do. Blamed you for the Westbrook trade when it was all Rob Pelinka. Now they was able to do some slick stuff that I believe was just Rob Pelinka and the GM, the Dallas GM, that was doing some under the table slick stuff. But now I believe the league might have been in it too. The league might have was under the table with them. Or after they did their under the table deal, the league helped them cover it up for the Lakers to get Luka. And Luka doesn't fit at all. There's nothing there. Nothing there at all. There's nothing there at all. You and Luka just don't fit, man. I knew that from the gate. Like, how this gonna work? All Luka does is take the ball out your hand. You actually won playing point guard. Luka has never won anything playing point. So they taking the ball out your hand to give it to Luka. How that work? You playing second field to Luka. It's cool for you to be point guard and you not to be the leading scorer. I'm cool with that. You falling back, becoming Magic Johnson. That's cool. That's good. Especially at your age. You falling back using your experience with your mind and your IQ, your basketball IQ to win games more. Still being efficient. You should want to average between 20 to 22 points over 50-something, 55%. But gain 10 to 12 assists. That should be your plan. That's the only way you're going to win a championship. That's why I say go to the Knicks, because Knicks fit that perfect. You got Bronson, you got Cat, who can be the leading scorers of the team. But then you also got OG, and you got Hart to be the defensive players. You got them to be the defensive players of the team, allowing you just on defense to play the 4 and on offense to be the point, like you did with the Lakers when they dominated the league with AD. It fits you perfect. And that's my whole point. You and Luka don't match much, man. It just don't work. It's time for you to bounce. You should have bounced last year. You should have already knew. You should have said, hey, trade me to the Knicks last year. It should have been the Knicks or Dallas last year. Now you can't go to Dallas and play with AD and Kyrie like you wanted to, because now they're getting flagged. They're getting flagged there. So you can't go there. So you only got the Knicks, which is cool. It's still available to you. The Knicks has been always available. That's been a place you should have played for forever. You played great there. You played great against them your whole career because it was meant for you to play in the Garden. You just don't get it. Just don't get it. Even when you left Cleveland, which you supposed to have left. Yes, the Cavs were not a championship team or a team that even cared about winning a championship. They didn't know how to win. They were just leaning on you to do everything. So, of course, you should have left them. But you shouldn't have left them to go to the Heat. You and Wade should have sacrificed and said, hey, we both going to bounce and go to the Knicks. Win them championships, me and you, and then we can do our plan to go back to Cleveland and and Wade could have went back to the Heat after racking up championships with the Knicks. So y'all should have sacrificed back then. And now you got your boy coming out talking about Bosh wasn't crap. You got your boy talking about how Bosh wasn't crap. So that's my whole point. Because Bosh wasn't crap. He was a expensive role player. An important role player, but a role player. An expensive role player who's getting paid the same much as y'all. He wasn't a star. Not when he played with y'all. He wasn't no damn star. Look at his numbers. Everybody can look at his numbers and realize this dude was nowhere near a star. He was a role player all the way. And you know that now. That's why your boy come out and say, because he wouldn't come out and say it unless you talking about it, and you gave him a leeway to go ahead and in public and say that Bosh wasn't crap. Because he wasn't. He wasn't no star, not like he was hyped up to be for you and Wade, because y'all would have won 4 championships in a row if he was that. This dude was getting dominated by Dirk. He was getting dominated by Tim. And these dudes is way older than him. He was getting dominated by him. Getting dominated by Tim Duncan, who was 10 years older than him. And they boost him up like he was Anthony Davis. The dude was nowhere near the Anthony Davis level power forward. If it was Anthony Davis, y'all would have been unstoppable. Because you and Wade were great on defense. That's the difference between you and Luka. Luka don't bring nothing on defense. And you're no longer great on defense. You okay at the power forward on D, no matter what your haters say. At the 4, you okay on defense. At the you no longer great when you push you on the perimeter. But if you keep you down low, yes, you still good on defense. But back then, you and Wade were perimeter killers. Y'all was unstoppable on D. You and Wade. Only second to maybe Jordan and Scottie. And I think y'all was as good as Jordan and Scottie, especially when it came to blocking shots. So you and Wade should have bounced. The Knicks had enough. They had enough capital and players to make another trade to get somebody else that was nice. So y'all should have went to the Knicks. I understand why you might have said, "Hey, I'm going to the Heat." Once Wade and Bosh signed there, I can understand you saying, "Hey, they already signed there. I can't convince Wade to come to the Knicks." But that's the problem. Wade should have bounced with you, and he would have had his opportunity to go back to the Heat later because he would have got signed based on what he did there by winning the championship already. The problem is, since he signed there, Pat Riley played him. Pat Riley, the ungrateful Pat Riley, played him and chose Bosh over him, which was ridiculous. Choosing Bosh over him. After all the work, all 3 championships because of Wade, not him. Wade won the first championship, and Wade brought you over there to the Heat. You ain't go to the Heat because of no damn Pat Riley. You went there because of Wade was there. So Wade could have he had capital to go back to the Heat. He had capital. But he thought, I'm going to be loyal, I'm going to stay here. And then they wasn't loyal to him at the end. They chose a Bosh over him because he was younger. And then Bosh immediately was out for his career. Showing how disgraceful Pat Riley is. That's why Pat Riley kept giving him contract to who? Haslam. He kept giving Haslam contracts to try to say, look, I'm loyal. Haslam from Miami. I'm giving him contracts. Even though he's in his 40s, I keep giving him contracts. Who gives a damn about Haslam? You played Wade, who brought 3 championships there. Bosh was underrated the whole time. It's not underrated, but he was overrated the whole time for the championship that you, LeBron, and Wade was winning. Y'all would have won, like I said, 4, no less than 3 if he was as good as Anthony Davis. So you had a chance back then, you and Wade, to go to the Knicks. You wanted to go back to Cleveland. You wanted to do. They made you think that was super important. Okay, you went there. You went back to Cleveland. You made people that never won nothing like Charles Barkley make you think going back to Cleveland was super important. When you could have went to the who, you could have went to Golden State Warriors before they won a championship. Not like Kevin Durant. You could have went there before they won a championship, before they was in the finals. And that was my problem now with the Knicks. If the Knicks would have went to the finals, you couldn't go there. You would have been pulling a Kevin Durant if you went there. You would have pulled a Kevin Durant if you went to the Knicks when they went to the finals. Everybody said you're going to a winning team. Now that the Knicks lost, it doesn't matter. Who cares? The Knicks ain't been to the finals in the longest. In over 20 years, the Knicks ain't been to the finals. So you going there, it's not you jumping on something. You going there and playing with Brunson. You going there playing with OG. You going there playing with Cat. None of these dudes and Hart. None of these dudes been to the finals. So if they go to the finals and they win a championship, you gonna get majority of the credit. And especially if you playing the point. They need a point guard. And you saying, hey, I'm gonna take a step back and play the point, and I'm gonna average between 21 to 23 points. You already going down to that anyway. But now you can take less shots. You can win games just being a point guard. And like I said, every championship in videos before, like I said, every championship you win with the Knicks is 2. So just winning 1, you're going to be the same level as Jordan. You win 2, you surpass Jordan. You tie Jordan and you win your last 2 championships with the Knicks, you're better than Jordan. The majority of people, only people going to be holding on to that is the Jordan Tars, the Jordan Ball Boys. You're going to be better than the guy. So what are you waiting for, man? Last chance. Last chance. Because it is what it is.